Look at what you're wearing right now. Not to judge it, to understand it. Because there's a good chance that at least one decision you made this morning, the trouser rise, the fabric, the collar, the shoe, is actively working against you. Not subtly, structurally. In a way that adds years to your appearance and volume to your frame that was never there. The single biggest mistake that men over 40 make is the same mistake every single time. They respond to a changing body by adding more fabric, more room, more comfort. And every single time, it makes things worse. Today, I'm going to be telling you exactly what's happening and exactly how to fix it. 5 mistakes, 5 mathematical corrections. Nothing vague. All right, let's go. One idea before the list, because without it, the fixes don't make complete sense. Before 40, the body does a significant amount of structural work for your clothes. Muscle definition, skin firmness, a naturally tapered torso, all of it shapes the garment from the inside. You can wear something loose, you can wear something soft, something with minimal structure, and the body underneath gives it form anyway. After 40, that equation shifts. The metabolism slows, the torso softens, and the instinct, the almost universal instinct, is to compensate by buying larger clothes. More room, more fabric, more forgiveness. This is the comfort compromise, and it is the fastest way to look older, heavier, and less authoritative than your actual body warrants. Because adding volume to a softening frame doesn't hide anything. It simply turns you into a larger, more unstructured block. The softness isn't concealed, it's amplified. The correction is the opposite of what instinct suggests. When the body provides less structure, the clothes must provide more. Tighter in the right places, heavier fabric, more architectural construction, scaffolding rather than draping. That principle is behind every single fix on this list. All right, so let's start with number 1. You're pushing your waistband down. This one is so common and so damaging that I want to spend real time on it. Because most men doing it have no idea that it's happening. And the visual consequence is one of the most significant proportion collapses in men's dressing. Most men over 40 continue buying mid-rise trousers. And as the midsection expands slightly, they do something natural and unconscious. They push the waistband down, below the stomach, to where it's comfortable, to where it doesn't press against the midsection. And it works in the sense that it feels better, but here's what it does to the silhouette. When the waistband drops below the natural waist and it sits at or below the stomach, the crotch of the trouser hangs lower, often by 3 to 4 inches below where it should sit. That hanging crotch visually divides the leg line at the wrong point. The legs appear to begin lower than they actually do. The torso, meaning everything above the waistband, appears massive by comparison. The result is a man who looks like he has a very large upper body sitting on very short legs. The fix is complete and non-negotiable. High-rise trousers worn at the natural waist. The waistband at or just below the navel. At this position, the dense trouser fabric sits above the midsection and smooths it. The fabric does the structural work rather than the body fighting the waistband. The leg line begins at the correct anatomical point. The legs read as long. The torso reads as proportionate. And the side adjuster replaces the belt entirely. A clean, flat waistband that holds at a fixed, measured position. The geometry is restored. 4 inches of apparent height, all recovered by one trouser decision. All right, number 2. Your performance fabric is performing against you. The market has spent a decade telling men over 40 that performance fabric is the solution to dressing comfortably without sacrificing style. Stretch chinos, technical blazers, 4-way flex dress shirts. All of it engineered for maximum comfort. All of it, structurally, working directly against the silhouette that it claims to support. Here's the physics of what stretch fabric does on a softening frame. High elastane fabric has no structural memory. It doesn't create shape, it conforms to shape. Whatever's underneath it, it maps. Every contour, every softness, every shift of the body with movement. The fabric is a second skin. And a second skin communicates everything that the actual skin communicates. By midday, the situation worsens. Stretch fabric that has been moving with the body for 6 hours begins to bag at the elbows, the knees, the seat. The garment takes the shape of everything that you've done that morning and holds it. Not the clean shape that it had when you put it on, but the accumulated shape of 6 hours of sitting, walking, and moving. It looks limp, used, like clothing that's given up. The structural alternative is heavyweight natural woven fabric. 2-ply cotton Oxford, 14-ounce raw denim, high-twist wool. These materials have their own weight and gravity. They create an architectural shape around the body rather than conforming to it. And critically, they hold that clean shape through a full day of wear without bagging, stretching, or losing their line. Natural fabric with mass in exchange for synthetic fabric with stretch. The comfort difference is smaller than the marketing suggests, but the silhouette difference is enormous. All right, number 3, your collar is collapsing. Here is something that happens gradually enough that most men never even notice it's happening, and that has a specific, identifiable effect on how the face reads to everyone looking at them. You see, after 40, the jawline naturally loses some of its sharpness. The definition between jaw and neck softens slightly. It's a normal biological shift. And it means that the architectural frame provided by the collar, which was doing useful work at 30 without anyone noticing, becomes significantly more important at 40 and beyond. A soft collar does nothing for this. A floppy button-down that pancakes flat against the collarbone provides no upward boundary. The eye travels from chest to chin without meeting any structure. The neck looks shorter, the jaw looks softer. The whole upper third of the silhouette reads as slightly undefined, which subconsciously reads as age. A collar with genuine stand does the opposite. It creates a crisp, upright V-shape beneath the chin, a structural boundary that the eye uses to define where the chest ends and the face begins. That boundary sharpens the apparent jawline even when the actual jawline has softened. It makes the neck read as longer. It makes the face read as more alert and defined. The 2 execution methods: shirts with an internal collar band that maintains stand without stiffening, and metal collar stays inserted into the collar point pockets that keep the collar lying flat and directed rather than curling or collapsing. Either method works. All right, number 4. The sneaker you chose is destroying your tailoring. The combination of sharp tailoring and chunky athletic sneakers has been presented, persistently, enthusiastically, as the modern approach to smart casual dressing for men over 40. The blazer and sneaker combination, the tailored trouser with the statement shoe, the formal meets sporty contrast is a sign of a man who's current, relaxed, and unfazed by convention. But here's what that combination actually communicates on a man over 40. A visual disconnect so sharp that it reads as effort. The contrast between tailored formality up above and athletic bulk down below, it draws the eye immediately downward, to the shoe, to the foot as the heaviest, loudest element of the outfit. Everything above it, ignored. The tailoring disappears and the shoe becomes the entire conversation. And the conversation that a chunky, heavily branded, neon-accented athletic shoe has with a tailored trouser, that's not the conversation you want. It says, I'm trying to bridge 2 worlds, and I haven't quite managed it. That quality of not quite managing is the opposite of the authoritative presence that every other decision in this wardrobe's building towards. The correct sneaker for tailoring is one that disappears into the trouser line rather than contrasting with it. Low profile, premium calfskin or suede, flat tonal sole, 0 visible branding. A sneaker that mimics the proportions and clean lines of a loafer that could be mistaken for a refined shoe from a distance. The shoe that doesn't announce itself. The tailoring isn't disrupted. The silhouette reads as one coherent decision rather than 2 competing ones. If the sneaker is the first thing that someone notices about your outfit, then it's the wrong sneaker. And finally, number 5, your trouser hems are pooling. Last one. And this is the fix that costs the least, requires the least shopping, and produces one of the most immediate visual improvements of anything on this list. The trouser hem. The full break, fabric bunching and pooling over the top of the shoe, was the standard cut of the 90s and the early 2000s. Long, heavy, generous at the hem. It was the era's silhouette, and it made sense within its context. The problem is that a significant percentage of men over 40 are still wearing that break. That pooling fabric does specific and consistent damage to the silhouette. It draws the eye downward and it keeps it there, anchored to the floor by an accumulation of fabric that reads as inattention. The trouser leg loses its vertical line. The shoe is buried rather than revealed. The overall silhouette reads as heavy and compressed rather than clean and tall. The fix is a single tailor instruction. No break or slight break only. The trouser hem skims the top of the shoe in a clean, straight horizontal line. The full architecture of the shoe becomes visible, which matters because a visible shoe adds length to the leg line rather than terminating it. The vertical flow of the outfit runs uninterrupted from waist to floor. The silhouette reads as modern, precise, and deliberate. This alteration costs the price of a hem. It takes 20 minutes, and it removes a decade from the visual age of every pair of trousers that you currently own. There is no higher return alteration in men's dressing. Do it to every single pair in your wardrobe this week. The body changes after 40. That's not the problem. The problem is responding to that change with the wrong instinct. More fabric, more room, more comfort, when the correct response is the opposite. More structure, more precision, more control over what the fabric is doing and where. The 5 corrections on this list are not complicated. They are specific. And specificity, applied consistently, is what separates the men who look distinguished after 40 from the men who look like they've stopped paying attention. Gentlemen, drop in the comments down below, which of these 5 are you going to be fixing first? Also, subscribe if you're not already here, and I'll see you in the next one.